Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Much better, much better. Can you hear me all right at the back? If my voice starts to dip, then just wave at me and I'll speak a bit louder. So, my name's Steve Denton, and I'm the university's Registrar and Chief Operating Officer. So, it's my job today to welcome you to Nottingham Trent University, talk a bit about what a great university I think this is, opportunity for you to ask questions, but particularly as a parent or carer, just try and guide you through the process of applying to university and what you can get out of today, and how you can support your children or those that you're looking after. Rather a grand title, Chief Operating Officer and Registrar. The Registrar bit is the important bit. I'm literally the person that texts the registrar, which is a bit difficult because we've got 40,000 students. So I'm a member of the university's executive team. I've been at the university for 5 years. This is the 5th university I've worked in. So I've got experience of working in other universities. And when I tell you it's a great university, I can tell you because I've worked in other universities. This is a good university. But we'll get into that in a moment. And the other thing is, I'm also a father. So I've got a lad just in his 3rd year at Sheffield Hallam. And I've got a daughter who's doing I'll be doing what you're doing next week. So I sort of understand the sort of emotional journey that you're on, particularly with my lad. He was the first one to go to university, and I accept that it's a life-changing moment. It's the first time probably that they've experienced independence. It's heart-wrenching, you know. His mum was crying and all of that. And what we're trying to do today is give you some practical tips about that, because it's a very important moment in their life, and what we want to do is provide them with a great experience as well as a qualification, and we'll talk a bit about how we go about that. So get the most out of today. I think obviously grateful that you've come to listen to me for half an hour, 40 minutes or so, but the key to today is really yourselves and your children talking to our great academic colleagues and our students who are actually teaching on or studying on the courses that you're interested in. So try and plug them and get as much out of them as you can today. And then the second thing is go and see what else we've got to offer. I mean, university is about coming to study a subject, but we've got a load of other stuff, the wider student experience, sport and culture, music and all of that. So get as much out of today as you can. Okay. So we've won quite a lot of awards, and we're quite proud of that. We've won 3 University of the Year awards in consecutive years. We're a very large university, probably one of the largest universities in terms of undergraduate intake. We're the Times Higher winner last year of Outstanding Support for Students. And if you've heard of the Teaching Excellence Framework, which measures quality of teaching in universities, then we're a gold Teaching Excellence Framework university. And that's lovely, isn't it? And that's great, and we're very, very proud of that. But that only happens because we have some great colleagues delivering some great teaching on very good courses and providing that wider package of support for our students. So the awards are great, but actually I'm prouder of the reason why we got the awards, which is the quality of that experience we give our students and the engagement that we've got with them. So as I said, we're a big university, about 40,000 students, 4,000 staff across 5 campuses. We've actually got students from about 160 different countries. So we're a very, very diverse university, which I think is a good thing. It allows students to meet people not just from different parts of the UK, but from different parts of the world and build networks. So we're very keen on making sure that our students engage with each other. One of the things I'm responsible for is the estate. Buildings like this, we've invested about £500 million in our estate over the last few years, and over the next 5 years we're planning to invest in the estate and infrastructure in a similar way. Why is that important? Because you have to have good environment to deliver good teaching and learning and good experience. And if you wander around today, I hope you see that that we have got some great learning and teaching environments. You can see our accommodation later. I think it's very good quality accommodation. That global network is very important to us. As he says there, we've got about 300 international partners from across the world, and that provides lots of opportunities for our students to study abroad, travel abroad, get experience overseas. And again, it's part of that. University is not just studying a course, it's about developing that wider experience. So yeah, very proud of our very diverse community. A lot of people think universities of our heritage, ex-polytechnics, just do good teaching, which we do great teaching, but probably don't do research. That's all for Russell Group universities, which isn't true. We've got some absolutely fantastic researchers. So a couple of weeks ago, we were with Prince Charles. He was giving us the Queen's Anniversary Prize for the research into cultural heritage. Very distinguished. The people behind us in the queue were from Oxford, and they were getting the Queen's Anniversary Prize for obviously the work they've done on the COVID vaccine. So that's the sort of company our researchers are in. And it's the second Queen's Anniversary Prize we've won for research while I've been here. When I first arrived, we got the Queen's Anniversary Prize for airport security. So if you go into airports and you stand in these scanners, do all that, that technology was developed in this building. Actually, that's the research that we did there. So I just demonstrate cultural heritage, airport security, one very scientific, one very cultural. Great examples of good research. And my favourite, I always have to mention this, we have the world's only professor of knitting. And some of it's got knitting really. I mean, so it's some great work that goes over in Bonington. And actually when I say knitting, they're fusing knitting and technology. So for satellites, how you use knitting techniques to create aerials on satellites. I mean, it's fantastic, yeah. Absolutely some great stuff. And you might be thinking, well, that's all great, but what does that mean for my kid, for the student coming here? Well, our researchers teach on programmes, they don't just do research, and our students get actively engaged, whether in your first year, second year, third year, postgraduate, in some of that great world-leading research that's going on. So research is very important to us. It informs what's in the curriculum, and our students are encouraged to take an active part in research. So as well as come to university, studying a course, get a great academic outcome, have a good experience, we want our students to be ready to go and get jobs. So we're quite clear here, every one of our courses has some work-like experience on it. Yeah? And if you come, it's a compulsory part of the curriculum, you have to do that. If you don't want to do that, don't come to NTU, because that's what we do. Yeah, it will be an absolutely compulsory part of the curriculum. Because what we want to do is give people the theory, but also the hands-on experience. So it's the theory and the practical, because we want them to be job ready when they leave us or they go on to further study. What does work like mean? So I guess a lot of you will think of the traditional sandwich placement year, and we do a lot of that. So they take a year out, so that's one way of doing it. But increasingly what we're also offering is short bite-sized opportunities, so it could be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, working with an employer, it could be working in the university on a project, so it's that sort of experience that we're giving. We appreciate also a lot of students don't want to go into a job working for a big firm, some do. So we've just built, you can go see it if you want, the Dryden Enterprise Centre. So we provide support there for students who want to create their own businesses. I think over the last year about 400 or so students have gone through Dryden Enterprise Centre, and we give them professional and practical advice, how to set up a company, legal, financial, all of that. So we really invest heavily in supporting our students, whatever route they want to take into employment afterwards. And wrapped around that then is our dedicated employability team. well over 100 colleagues working with students to provide them with day-to-day support. Right from the off, really. In your first year, we'll be talking to you about employability. In your second year, we'll be talking to you about employability, as well as in your third year when you would expect it. And we've got a wide network of people who come in then, so they will do guest lectures, they will do seminars, they'll offer coaching and mentoring for students. And we bring back a lot of our alumni to do that. And in addition, we appreciate that coming to university, you know, can be an expensive business, so a lot of the people you see in pink t-shirts wandering around today, helping you out, guiding you around, are our students who are getting paid to help us today. It's that sort of opportunity that we will give our students. And it doesn't finish at the end of your third year. After you graduate, we continue to provide employability support for our students for up to a year, including access to things like Microsoft and LinkedIn Learning. So we think we have a responsibility to support our students whilst they're here, but also as they enter into the employment market. So it's great me saying that, but you might appreciate Jane, who's one of our international business students, telling you a little bit about her experience of employability support.
Hi, my name is Jane. I'm a final year international business student. I started engaging with the employability team very early on in my studies. In my first year, they helped me set up my LinkedIn profile. In my second year, I was able to get support in writing my CV and cover letter, which helped me to secure my placement job. In my final year, I've already attended mock assessment centre and I've had support one-to-one with the employability team who were able to help me source my graduate job. I really recommend engaging with the employability team as soon as possible to help you on your career journey during and after graduation.
So that's the sort of broad range of support that we can give to our students all the way through their studies. We do support our students through every stage of the journey. We do recognise, particularly at the moment, transitioning from school to university, lots of students love it, some have challenges with it, I think we've just got to be realistic about that. I think particularly our experience in the last couple of years where students have had a difficult time at school and might not have built up some of those life skills. So we manage transition and the step up to university, put a lot of effort and investment into that. So what are some of the things we do? Obviously we've got our outstanding student support services team, which won an award for the quality of its service. Helping people, lots of students just come in, got a bit of anxiety, low mood, through to some very complex mental health and well-being cases. So we've got a very large team of staff who can cover that full spectrum of support from our students. So that's more on the sort of well-being, practical and emotional side. On the learning side, again, we recognise that some students come in and have had to catch up with learning. So we've got a huge team of staff in our library. Libraries are not as they were in my day, they're just full of books, it's full of experienced, expert colleagues who can give support on, surprising number of students come in with basic literacy skills or numeracy skills, or don't know how to write an essay or a thesis. We can give you all that wraparound support. So again, thought it'd be helpful if you heard from one of our students. We, as well as offering expert support in terms of health and well-being, we think peer support is very important, and a lot of students would rather engage with and get support from their peers rather than from staff, and that's fine. So here's Rachel, she's one of our student mental health champions.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I am a current NTU student studying wildlife conservation, and I just wanted to share with you some of my top tips as one of your student mental health champions. So my first top tip is to prioritise your mental health and well-being. This can be by doing self-care or even just spending some time by yourself. Next will be to get out in nature, and no, I don't mean just looking at photos of landscapes on Instagram. Enjoy the fresh air and explore Nottingham. Next, explore students with either a minor or major disability and see if you can be eligible for a disabled students allowance. So just remember that there is plenty of mental health support. And finally, to remember that CERT student mentors are there for you throughout the academic year to give you support and resources. I hope you first year students have an amazing time becoming a part of the NTU community.
So that's Rachel. I think she's great. One of our many student mental health champions providing peer-to-peer support. And we quite like the concept of peer-to-peer support, so we do it beyond mental health and well-being. So every first year student will be buddied up with a second or third year student, what we call the CERT mentoring scheme. So again, helping to manage that transition might be as simple as directions, but it could be about navigating more challenges from an experience perspective as a second or third year student. And actually those second and third years then get something out of it themselves, participating in that scheme, something they can say that they've done that they can then put on their CV. So we found this scheme particularly successful and students have taken it up. The other thing that we do here that you might have read about is we've got something called the dashboard. It sounds a bit Big Brotherish, guess it is. So we monitor student engagement. Every student, again, if a student comes here, they sign up to that. So that will be attendance at classes, taking assessments, whether you've been to the library, swipe access, and we can measure then whether students have been in the university, have not been in the university, and then we follow up those with low engagement and ask why they're not engaging. What can we do to help them try and get them engaged? Because funnily enough, the research shows the more engaged you are with your university and your studies, the better chance you have of getting a good degree. Amazing research. And as I say, I hadn't come across it until I came here. I think it's a great scheme. I thought we'd get more pushback from our students about it, but actually they understand it's for their benefit and they're happy with it. So it's, I think it's something unique about NTU. And if you're a parent, I've done a lot of these talks in my 25 years in higher education. If I talk to applicants, they want to know about the course, and then they want to know about the nightlife, which is great. And if I talk to the parents, want to know about the course, where they're going to live, how safe they're going to be. Understandable, and they get it. And safety and security is very, very important to us. I mean, it's my one responsibility. It's the thing that keeps me awake at night. I've got to make sure every one of those 40,000 students is safe and secure, whether they're on campus or they're off campus. So we have a great 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year security team across all of our campuses. They kept going right the way throughout COVID, when people were saying universities were closed. This university wasn't closed. Our security team was here looking after our students right the way through that. Worked very closely with the police and the local council. We've developed a scheme with the local taxi company, so if you're out at night, lost your money or you've spent all your money on other things and you need to get home, hand your student card to the taxi, they'll take you home, and then the university will help pay it back later. So it's things like that, I think, we can't do enough to make our students feel safe and secure. The other thing we do is all first year students have to take mandatory courses around consent and safety. We think it's important we start off on the right note. We don't want to frighten people, but equally we've just got to be realistic about life, so that's an important part of what we do. And then we started to develop these safe places at campus. So on every campus, students are feeling a bit unsafe, not feeling secure, feeling a bit anxious. Places they can go, and they'll be staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with people who can help them out, give them tips. The other important part of safety obviously is the student accommodation. So if you haven't had the opportunity yet, do go and visit our student accommodation. It's not like it was in my day, where 20 of us had to share a shower. It's great quality accommodation, but it is part of that wider student experience, and a lot of learning actually goes on in the kitchens, and we create social spaces and network spaces. So do visit the accommodation. It's a really important part of the experience. Then Nottingham. How many people are from Nottingham? Yeah. I didn't know anything about Nottingham or Nottingham Trent before I came 5 years ago. And I've worked in Leeds, Manchester, London. Nottingham is a fantastic city. It's an absolutely brilliant city. It's what I like about it is it's a city, but you can get your arms around it. You can walk across it. It's vibrant. There's music. There's culture, sport. 2 football teams allegedly. Cricket, ice hockey. I mean, there really is something for everyone in Nottingham. So, key part today. Great day today to do it. Get out. Just go and have a wander around Nottingham. It's a fantastic city. It really is. Might be a bit challenging today because Notts County are playing Chesterfield. And if you know your football, Chesterfield's just up the road, so it might be a bit lively. But get out and have a look at Nottingham. It's an absolutely fantastic place. So what can you do? How can you help? So as I said, I guess it's an anxious time for your children, thinking about leaving home, this big life-changing experience. And every single one of those 40,000 students has had different journeys and different considerations, but there are some common themes we find in terms of how parents can support their children manage that transition. First of all, encourage your children to engage, take up opportunities. If you haven't played a sport or you haven't done music before, just take advantage of those great opportunities. Join a club or society. We've got all sorts of clubs and societies here. So from the Law Society, I think our most popular society is the Cocktail Making Society. So we've got something for everybody: sport, music, culture, religion. As I said, try something new. Also encourage them to expand their horizons. As I said, we've got study and work abroad opportunities. I've seen the transformational effect that has had on people's lives. So if you want to take advantage of any of those opportunities, volunteering or sport, you'll see down in the atrium where we've got colleagues on hand who can tell you a bit more about all of that stuff. So that's pretty much me. As I say, I think Nottingham Trent University is a great place, good quality teaching, great research, good support for our students. But I would say that, wouldn't I? Yeah, because that's my job. A couple of weeks ago, we had the university's Minister, Michelle Donnellan, on campus. She's a tough cookie, Michelle, but she thinks that we're great.
I am here today at Nottingham Trent University. This is a university that is delivering over 90% of its teaching face-to-face. I've had some amazing conversations with students, including degree apprenticeships, ahead of National Apprenticeship Week next week. They also have a great record on completion rates, and their courses lead to graduate jobs. This is an amazing university. I'm looking forward to the rest of my visit.
That's high praise indeed from the Minister of State for Higher Education. So that's it from me. Thank you for your time today. Hope you have enjoyed your day so far. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. I'm happy to take some questions, Amy, if people got some.
What is a safe place?
Safe place. So in the library, on the city campus in the library, there's a room there. And our libraries are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So students can go and study when they want. But a safe place is somebody that can go. There'll usually be a counsellor there or a member of security. So people just, they're in the city or they're on campus and they're just feeling worried or anxious about anything. And they don't want to pick up the phone or they don't want to email anybody. They can just go and get some support and advice, whatever it might be. That's what it is. Hello.
Do you find that students who take out the year, that some of them don't come back?
In terms of taking a year out for employment opportunities, yeah, almost without exception, unless they've got some health reason, will come back to the university, will want to complete, and actually are better students from having had that practical year out.
We do have some that go away to industry and get a job opportunity in that year, but it's then deferred until they complete their degree. So it's not that they have to take that up straight away, but they do then get given that opportunity as part of that year.
Hello.
Hi. And with the year in industry, how do NTU support and keep in contact with their students?
Yeah, that's a good point. I should have covered that. So every student that goes into a year-long placement or shorter placement, they'll have a designated contact. That person will keep in touch with them, checking on how they're getting on with their studies, but they'll also talk to the employer about how they're getting on. So it's a sort of three-way relationship. So that's part of the employability team's job, is to keep track on that, get people on track if they're either not turning up to work or not performing.
Okay. And when they come back into their final year with regards to accommodation, is it a platform that they go to search for that, or?
Yeah, so what we tend to find is most of our first year students will go into university type accommodation. Second year students want to try and get a bit more independence, so they'll probably go into 6-bedroom house. And then third years and those returning from placement then tend to live in 2s and 3s. Yeah, so that tends to be the sort of pattern.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Hello.
I think on a similar theme, those students who are taking their second and possibly third years out abroad,
Yeah.
what support do they get with that geographical transition?
Yeah, so similarly, obviously been a bit tricky over the last couple of years, but we will keep in touch. If there were a partner institution, for example, studying at one of our partners, we will have gone out, we will have vetted the partner, we'll have made sure that the partner's got somebody there who's not just looking after their sort of teaching and learning, but the sort of wider pastoral support there. And we've got a team, NTU Global, who keep in touch with those partners, then make sure that students are performing well, not coming up against any particular issues in country. As you can really see, just before the start of the pandemic, we had to do quite a bit of work on getting students back, and we pay for flights and all of that stuff. So, yeah. Any other queries, questions? No? Well, I hope you found it helpful. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you've got any queries at all, anybody in a pink t-shirt should be able to help you. Thank you.